when they start creating their account online for any social media influencer account, they spend maybe 3 minutes just thinking about their username. But I encourage you to just watch this video real quick so you can have a better understanding as how important it is to create your username and what to do going forward. Because this is actually more important than you realize. But before we begin, I'm Ashley, the creator of Petfluencer Secrets, and my goal is to help every creator and influencer out there have massive success, and all it takes is just knowing the little details. So let's get started. There are 3 specific things that you need to recognize before just going ahead and creating something random. Now, of course, here on this platform, I talk about pet influencer accounts because that is where my expertise is at. Now, here's the deal. When it comes to a profile name, that's the same as your username. These 3 things will make or break when it comes to being a long-term successful account. Now, I want to answer a few questions before we get started. The very first thing is, can I change my name later? What if I create something now and I actually, a few weeks or months down the road don't like it or recognize it doesn't work? What's good is that on your platforms, you can change it. I do want you to recognize though, when it comes to YouTube, which I always encourage people to have a YouTube account along with their other social media accounts, you may have a struggle of a time creating something new. So that's why, again, it's so important to do your research first before just diving in and putting something down. TikTok, you can change. Instagram, you can change. Snapchat, you can change. But YouTube, yes, you can change it, but it's harder to change the Gmail that's associated with it. Now let's go straight to the first secret when it comes to creating a successful and profitable profile name for your influencer account. And the first tip is to keep it simple. Now I know that in itself is a simple tip, but here's the deal. When it comes to a simple profile name, you want it short and you want it simple. Meaning, if you have a name that's multiple words long or a name that is hard for people to search for you, it will make it so that less and less people will be able to find you later on. Because, of course, let's say that you create a video and someone remembers what that video was and just remembers a few parts of your username, they'll try to search you up and they may struggle. Let's say you have a lot of exclamation points and a lot of numbers on there. Well, that's going to be hard for people to remember. How can we make that more simple? Honestly, look at any big profile account on social media and almost every single time you're going to find that it is very simple. Second, you must make your profile name memorable. So the reason I say memorable is because you want people to say, oh yeah, I remember Skittles the skunk or something like that. I really like alliterations. But again, what can you do to make it memorable? So keeping it simple, just a few short words, keeping it memorable, which again will make it so that you're easily more searched and people can recognize you as more of a name rather than just trying to remember what your profile photo looked like and whatnot. And the third secret with this is keeping it searchable. So down the road, if your goal is to create an account that, brings in thousands of dollars extra every single month, you have to recognize that people are going to search you and you need your profile name to be searchable. So again, what does that mean? Having a searchable name means that if you were to put it into Google, there's no one else with an exact name like you, and it's not super complicated. One of the most popular profile name types within the Petfluencer community is name the blank. Okay, so let's, for example, use my own account, Chip the Manx. Manx is a cat breed. Or my other profile account, Biscuit the Calico. Keeping it simple, searchable, and memorable. Having that type of profile name setup makes it so much easier for you to, again, be searched on Google or be searched within YouTube or TikTok. But now that we've talked about those things, I do want to talk about a few important tips to recognize before just going in and starting your accounts. The first thing to recognize is to always research if other people have already taken that username. I cannot tell you how many people I have seen and talked to and worked with within the Petfluencer community who have thought of a good sounding name, but then create one account, say on TikTok, and recognize that account is taken on Instagram, on YouTube, on Google, email, or Gmail. That makes it kind of hard. So you want it, again, you want it to be a unique, But at the same time, you have to do some research. Go on, open up those platforms, even open up on Google. If you have Skittles the Skunk, go onto YouTube, just type that in, filter it for the accounts, and see if there are any accounts for it. Go on to Instagram. This should seriously take no longer than 3 minutes, but doing that, especially if you have a few different profile name ideas, doing that will save you a lot of time after you create the accounts and then realize that one of those is taken. Another thing that I really recommend throughout the course and to all the people within the Petfluencer community is to set up a Gmail or an email that is associated with your social media accounts rather than trying to use your own personal email. This makes it easier for connecting to brands and whatnot. But here's something to also recognize. Email name availability should also be something that you need to take into account when creating your profile name. If you create the profile name Life of Max, guess what? If you type into Google, that's taken. So then you have to start getting creative with Google email. And I always recommend keeping everything the same across your platforms for your brand identity and for recognition. And then the last tip I want to give you is the struggle of, okay, I have a really great idea, but what if it's taken already? There are a few other things that you can use within your profile name. So let's say you want to say Life of Max. Well, instead, what you can add in is Official Life of Max. You want your name to be simple and short. So you don't want to say the Official Life of Max. That ends up being a really long profile name, and it just, again, gets harder for people to search you. So again, a lot of times saying official blank or Max's Life Official or something like that, you can always add in some underscores as well to separate those words. Do get creative, but always remember, keep it simple, make it memorable, and make sure your profile name is searchable. As always, if you have any questions, make sure to comment them down below. And if you're looking for some free content ideas, there's a link in the description and a link to the course so that you can log back in and get started with your profile accounts. I'll see you in the next video.